There we go.
Good. Okay, today class we're going to be covering drugs and stimulants, or drugs in particular, stimulants and depressants. And here's a worksheet I'll be fill out during PowerPoint.
Thank you.
And we'll go into a quick description of stimulants and depressants. Stimulants are also called they're highs, and they increase or stimulate normal activity of the central nervous system, which is just like a kickstart. It's almost like a kickstart. And depressants are called downers. And these drugs temporarily diminish the normal function of the brain or nervous system, so they kind of bring down your mood. These are some of the stimulants. The ones we covered today are cocaine and methamphetamine, also known as meth. This is their effects also. Cocaine is a drug that is a stimulant and also suppressor of the appetite. So at the same time it picks up, it attacks the central nervous system to speed it up. It also decreases your hunger. It can be inhaled by powder, digested, which is also by powder, snorted by powder, and injected by it. They melt it down. It increases the level of dopamine, which is associated with pleasure and movement. So that when the dopamine levels go up, that's when acting as the stimulant and encouraging the central nervous system. Cocaine is illegal in all countries and states. The health effects of cocaine are constricted blood vessels, increased heart rate, loss of sense of smell, nosebleeds, heart attacks, respiratory arrest, and death. The reason for cocaine is the one drug that can actually kill you right away, instead of with multiple uses. The increased heart rate leads to heart attacks, and the increased heart rate is caused by constricted blood vessels, because when your blood constricts, it has to pump the blood faster through to get all the blood through you. And in turn, the heart attacks can lead to death. And the loss of sense of smell and the nosebleeds, because when you snort it, it causes makes your nose inside raw and takes off your smell sensors. It also comes in a crystal or a rock form, which is called crack. And the second stimulant we're talking about is meth, or methamphetamine. Is a stimulant drug that affects the central nervous system and increases your energy and alertness. It can be digested, inhaled, or injected. The digested inhale is also in a white powder form. It also increases the dopamine that is released in the brain, and it can also come in a crystal form, which is called crystal meth. It is illegal on occasion if it is prescribed by a doctor if you have ADHD, but however it is not legal if it is not from a doctor, and it is also not legal if it comes from a meth lab. The health effects of using meth are increased blood pressure, increased heart rate, increased energy, dental problems due to it breaking down your gums when ingested, extreme weight loss, and that's because the energy picks up your metabolism, so that causes more weight, or you burn more energy, because that increased energy leads to the weight loss. Confusion, brain damage, the risk of stroke, and heart failure and death. There's also depressants, which we're going to cover ethanol and heroin. Heroin is a version of processed morphine, and pure heroin is usually found in a white powder form. It can be inhaled, snorted, and injected. Injected would be like if you took morphine, how they inject it in you. Heroin gives the user a quick rush, which is then followed by a dry mouth, then puts the individual in a drowsy state. which is kind of like how morphine works. That's why it's a process for morphine, because morphine basically is like a pain or a pain killer. So it kind of just makes you in a drowsy state. Heroin also depresses the central nervous system, and it does this by depressing nerve transmissions in the sensory pathways of the spinal cord and the brain signal, and the brain that signal pain. So that basically, it covers up the sensors, so the chemicals can't get there to tell the brain or the spinal cord what is going on. It is an illegal drug. The health effects of doing heroin are convulsions, which is kind of almost like a seizure, possible coma, collapsed veins, slow and shallow breathing, as well as death. It comes in a white powder form and also a black sticky or substance, which is called black heroin, which is it's also called tar. And we can do an example is this would be the tar for the black heroin, which is the tar. And that's usually one of these that you can do that is like for the inhaling, do like balloons, or also ingesting it. And then this is the white, this is the pure form of heroin, which is white powder. Oops. Then there's alcohol, or ethanol, is its scientific name, but it's actually what we know as alcohol. This is the most frequently used depressant. It is produced by the fermentation of yeast, sugars, and starches. It is also a psychoactive drug that produces tension and slows the reaction speed. Because as you know, like for drunk drivers, they usually don't have a good reaction when they're driving, because everything's for them slows down, and the vision's blurry. It can only be digested. Alcohol affects the brain, and signs of alcohol consumption are clumsiness, slurred speech, and delayed reflexes. That's why if you see a drunk person, they tend to be like falling over all the time, and their slurred speech is how cops, police often catch drunk drivers by they haven't checked their slurred speech. And for clumsiness would be like walking the line. Alcohol is a legal drug. However, there is another version of alcohol which is called moonshine, which is illegal because of the high proof. Because for alcohol, the higher the proof of the alcohol, the worse or the more dangerous it is, and can cause you to become more drunk faster. Health effects of using alcohol are damage to the liver, cardiovascular disease, cancer, damage to the nervous system, depression. So if you often notice, if someone's like depressed, they drink a lot of alcohol, which actually is not good for you because that makes you even more depressed. If in the state of Wisconsin, the blood alcohol content that can be in your blood is 0.08. If the amount of alcohol in the blood is high enough, it can cause death, it can cause alcohol poisoning and deadly car accidents. Since alcohol is actually a poison, that's how it damages the liver. It can cause liver disease, and also it can cause alcohol poisoning, like I said, due to having too much in your blood. We're going to watch a short video on consequences of using drugs and alcohol. Copy and paste. Work. This project focuses on binge drinking. We'll just watch this. That's what happens when you have liver disease. That's what your liver turns into.
I don't know why I did these things I did.
They can also lead to anger in some people when they're drunk. That'd be an example of what happens when you're drunk, drinking, driving. This would be an example of a person who has drinking way too much and is passed out. And that was like a short video on what the effects of using alcohol are. And now we're going to go over the worksheet. My hand out for you guys to fill out. Could you tell me, Chris, what are stimulants?
Stimulants are drugs that stimulate the nervous system to make you become more aware, but in doing so, they also disrupt our nervous system and causes damage to it and to the brain.
Yep, that's correct. Can you tell me, list 3 effects that are caused by cocaine, 3 health effects.
Cocaine, 3 effects would be heart attack. Would that also cause nose bleeding?
Yep.
Because it destroys, and your sense of smell.
That destroys the sensory.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Is methamphetamine completely illegal?
True.
Actually, no, it's false. It's actually it's legal if you have ADHD and the doctor prescribes it to you.
Oh, okay.
Then 3 signs of that a person is drinking alcohol or is drunk from alcohol.
If you have an alcohol content, it's 0.08 is legal.
Yep.
So if you have something like a 0.09, that's illegal.
Yeah, but also, like, what are the 3 signs of alcohol consumption?
3 signs would be slow reaction, a blood content of alcohol of greater than 0.08, and depressing. So slow reaction.
Yep, that's good. Okay, class, that's all we have for today. Tomorrow we'll cover club drugs and psychedelic drugs. Have a great day, everybody.